So we are going to design the table which is side by side, where each of the tables has its own caption such as this. So let's continue. All right, so I am here now. So we'll start with this one. Let me just do it here. We are first going to activate our LaTeX environment, or let's say generate the LaTeX document. So I will start with /document class, then pt, and then article. So this one is mandatory. We are using it to kind of open the documents. All right, so take note of that. Then we are also going to use a package called caption. We need it to be able to write captions and also customize the captions. So that is it. And then we begin our documents. And then we end our document. So in this block, we are going to write our quotes to get our tables generated. So let's proceed. And by the way, I have an introductory video on tables. So for beginners, I will encourage you to check that video out as well. All right. So that will help you to understand what we are going to do now. So please check that video to learn the basics of generating tables. Okay. So we are going to start. So what we are going to be doing is to use the mini page environments to design the tables in their own environment and then place them side by side. So that the key here is the mini page. Let me just go back. Okay, so that's the key here. So we have a brief description that tells us what it does. So it produces what we call the power boxes. So these are boxes. And so because these are boxes, the numbers is possible for you to customize them or place them in certain positions. So that is the rationale behind what we are doing. So we are placing a table in a box, and that box environment, that power box environment, is what will help us to do the arrangements. So basically that is it. So let's go back to our document. So we will say /begin, and I'll say mini page. All right, that is it. So with a mini page, we also have some options. We have the placement option, which we use, and then we also have the width, which we are going to specify. All right. So here, when it comes to this side, sometimes you have to do some customization, but we are going to use one which works, and you can use that as a template to do some additional modifications. All right. So here I'm going to use the mini page. I'll indicate the position, and I also indicate the width. That's what I'm going to do here. All right, so position here, I will say C, and then when it comes to the width, I'll say 1.0 inch. So this is going to be my dimension or design. Let me just put it that way. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to create a mini page for each table. Okay, and then once we have these several mini pages, then we now do the adjustments. All right, so basically that's what we are doing here. So this is the mini page for the first table, and so when we come here, we say /caption off, and we indicate table. Then we can leave it blank if we don't want any caption, but we want just the table number. You can leave it blank, or you can also give the table. That's fine. So here I can just say, I can even say left table, because we are going to do it left. It will be arranged, all of them will be arranged side by side. So the first one goes to the left, far left, second, and in that order. So that's what we are doing here. Okay, so I'll just leave it like this, or just to, yeah, let's just put it like this. Okay, or for the sake of beginners, let's just leave it blank. You can later modify the headers, that's fine, but I will leave it blank. All right, then what I do is that I'll begin my table. So I'll just say slash begin tabular. And then here, just like we did with the standard tables, you indicate your columns. Here I'm justifying everything with C center. Okay, I just want to have 3 columns. And then here we say slash H line. And then here I will give any header, or let's say any row. We are now going to add the rows. So let's just use what we had here. So here we had ABC 1 2 3 CBA. Okay, that's for the first table. So I'll just say A B C slash H line 1 2 3. I'll end that row, another horizontal line, then the last row, which is C B A, and then we end it, we add another horizontal line. Then we close the tabular environment, so that's going to be slash end tabular. Then we also need to indicate that is the end of the mini page documents. All right, so here we say slash end mini page or mini page. All right, so that's going to be the end. So now let's even run this first. Let's see what comes up first. So this is the first page. All right, okay, first mini page, which shows what we have here. That's table 1. Now if we are adding the second table, the second table will now come to this side because we are arranging it from left to right. Okay, so that's what we are doing. And also the number of tables on a particular line will depend on the dimensions you set here and your table design in general. So if the weight you are setting here is smaller, that means obviously we are going to have more tables. But at the end of the day, you also need to look at how readable that document will be. So you just need to do adjustment according to what you see or how you see it fit. All right. Another thing you should also notice that when it comes to the mini page, when we are creating the second one, we should make sure it starts just after we end the previous one. So that means there shouldn't be any space between the slash end and the slash begin of the next mini page. All right. So here we say slash begin mini page. So it's going to be the same settings here. So I'll just copy this and bring it. Okay, the same settings here. Then I'll indicate my caption. So slash caption of, and then I indicate it's also going to be for a tabular object. Okay, but it's going to be table rather because we need to follow a specific process. So slash caption of is going to be table, and then I also leave it blank. So when you leave it blank, only the table numbers are shown. Later you can add your modifications. That is fine. All right. Now after that, you bring your begin tabular. So here I'm going to copy because I'm going to use the same design here. Okay, the same number of columns, just that the contents will differ. But so at the end of the day, just follow this and you can later modify the tables as you see fit. All right. Now once you have this, I bring my slash H line, then I proceed. So let's look at the second one. We have DEF 456 FED. All right. So here I'm going to put that here. I will just say DEF. Horizontal line 4 5 6. You can also put any number there of your choice. That is fine. Then we add the last one. Let's see what is there. So FED. So slash H line F E D slash H line. Then we say slash end tabular. All right, we have it this way. And then we say slash end mini page. All right, this becomes the second table. Now let's run this code again. So you see what has been indicated here. I'll even zoom in a bit for you to see. Let's zoom in. Yeah, so you see that the next table has also been created. All right, now let's add the last table. And so before I even start with the last table, let's look at what I said. I said the slash end mini page for the previous one and the slash begin mini page for the next one. There shouldn't be any space. If we were to put a space, let's see what will happen. You see what has happened. Okay, the arrangement gets disrupted. And so the rule is that there should be no space between the slash end mini page of the previous one and the slash begin mini page of the next one. So take note of that. This is key. You need to have this done. All right, now let's rerun and then get it sorted out. All right, good. Now we go to the last one. And so the same, we start with slash begin mini page. I'll just copy and paste. Again, no space. Then slash caption of, I'll also use the same. And then I go to slash begin tabular. Again, I'll use the same design here, but you can also modify it to see what comes up. All right, and then slash H line. Then I add the next table. So which is this one? But the rationale here is that for the tables, we have 3 columns and 3 rows. So here you can even modify and use your own table. Yeah, that is fine. I'll just do something here. So here I'll just say GH, something like that. So I'll just say GHI. I'll say slash H line. And I'll say what, 7, 8, 9, just something like this. Slash H line. It's backslash, so H line. Then I'll say J A L. I mean just something. Slash H line. Then I have to end the tabular as well as the mini page. So here I'll just copy these ones and place them there because it's the same thing. Okay, so it's supposed to be slash end tabular and then slash end mini page. So let's run this and let's see what comes up. All right, so we see the third table has also been created. Let me just zoom out a bit for you to see. So you see it has also been created here nicely. So we see the 3 tables arranged side by side. Now, if you create another table and then the space there is too small for it, that table is gonna go below. All right, so you need to take note of that as well. So just know that. All right. All right. Now let's look at something else. Now, in your documents, you might have some tables as well as some text. All right. So let's say you have some text before this table. Let's put some text. There's something I want to show you. If let's say there was to be some text above, let's say hi there. This is a LaTeX document. Let's just put something like this there. If you run this, let's see what happens. When you run this, you realize that the captions have what? The space between them is kind of very close. And so ideally you may want some space between the text as well as the tables themselves. So one way to do this is to send a caption below. So that means instead of the caption coming here, You can put, I'll just do it one of them. Instead of it coming here, you can just put it somewhere here. Let's see if this one works. Okay, you can put it somewhere here. But the point I want to make here, let's just go back. The point I want to make here is that irrespective of where the caption is going to be, now place it back, the space there will still be small. And so what you want to do is to add some extra space between the text as well as the table. So one approach to do this is that just after the text, in the next line, you can just say /v space, that's vertical space, and indicate the distance. Okay, so here we can put less than 0.5 cm. That means that between this text and then this environment here, this line where these tables are, there's going to be some space, and the space created, the distance will be what? The distance from the text to that table. Let's say the distance of the space, let me just put it that way, is going to be 0.5 cm. So if we run this, you will see that what? There has been some increase in the distance. Okay, so this is one way to also kind of put some distance between the text you have above the table and then the tables themselves. The same applies to a text below. If the text were to be below, let's just put something here, another text. You see where it is. And so just after the end of the mini page, just put in, let's say, one space, and then just say one line space, and just say /v space, and also indicate the distance. So here I'll say 0.5 cm, and then let's run it. So if you run it, then it's also going to what? Put in some considerable space between the table and the text. So this makes it much readable, right, and understandable. Okay, when they are too close, it also becomes very busy, and then things get jumbled up. So this is one way to also format the document that you have. All right, so this becomes the approach for designing tables side by side. And so here, this table that we have here, each of these table has its own caption.